Morning. I want to thank you for taking time and joining us today for our 18th annual virtual circle. We are highlighting the silver linings that the pandemic has given us, which one of those things is allowing a deep dive into each of our program areas. Today, we are going to learn more about our program RSVP. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Alicia Whitworth, and I am YWCA's Director of Philanthropy. And I'm very excited to introduce RSVP's coordinator, Beth Newton.
Hello, everyone. It's great that you've joined us today to learn something new about RSVP. I actually started as a volunteer several years ago, and I quickly found out how fulfilling it was, rewarding, and what a great variety of opportunities there were to choose from. So after I retired, I was looking for something part-time, and I ended up joining the staff here just about 3 years ago. So as Alicia said, my current role is the RSVP coordinator. There are also 3 other staff members in the office, Jill, Martha, and Loretta, and they support the day-to-day tasks and they interact with our volunteers and our agencies. So if we'd like to go to the first slide, please. So first, I want to share with you just a few ways how we impact our volunteers and the community. So did you know that we have 450 active volunteers in the Retired Senior and Volunteer Program? And did you know that pre-COVID, 412 volunteers served 48,197 hours in their communities? During COVID, 330 volunteers served 29,538 hours. We think that is a great number, just mainly because if you think back, a good portion of the 2020 was spent either during the stay-at-home order, or there were an awful lot of guidelines and restrictions that kept our volunteers from getting out. But obviously 330 volunteers found something to do that was very worthwhile their time. Did you know that 1/3 of volunteers are aged 68 to 74? People are retiring much younger, we're finding out, and they're actually planning ahead and they're looking how can they give back to their communities so that when they do retire, they have a plan and they're able to use their skills and interests. So we hope to recruit more volunteers aged 55 to 68 who are looking for ways to use their skills. Did you know that the YWCA of McLean County is RSVP's sponsor? We are one of several programs associated with the YWCA. They provide us a location for our office and use of the facility to host meetings, events, orientations, and some special activities that we have going on also. Did you know that we partner with 75 nonprofit agencies in McLean County? So that old saying that says, gosh, we offer everything from soup to nuts, A to Z, we actually have it, and we are good to go. It's just amazing, the nice variety that we have with our agencies to offer our volunteers. Did you know that in 2020, RSVP provided 2,930 free snack and food items to schools in District 87? Did you know that we are pairing our volunteers with nonprofits, and the way that we do this, it actually saves them money and their businesses can continue to operate and do the wonderful work that they do in our community. You can pan back to Beth now. So now I would like to give a little background about us. We are part of AmeriCorps, and this is the federal agency that connects individuals and organizations through service and volunteering to improve their communities. Their parent organization is the Corporation for National and Community Service. It's known as CNCS. So we apply for grant money every 3 years, and CNCS is our primary source of funding. We also receive state match money from the Illinois Department of Aging. So we use this money for our staffing, insurance for volunteers, office supplies, and primarily we recognize our volunteers and thank them throughout the year for what they do. Something else that I thought was interesting, and I did not realize this, but RSVP has been around since 1969. That's a long time that we've been here doing great work. Now I want to share a few guidelines and our objectives. So to be a member, you need to be age 55 or older and want to be involved in your community. We like to help our members put their skills and their life experiences to work. We try to carefully match them with the nonprofit agency in our county, and this can be either short-term or for long-term commitments. We like to help our agencies by providing the skills and interests specific to their needs and opportunities they have. So what we really want to end up doing is build relationships and partnerships between us, our volunteers, and the agencies that we serve. Now I want to share a few benefits about being an RSVP member. Our volunteers are connected to a broad network of agencies. We consider us that one-stop resource for them. So we're that middle person. We can save them a lot of legwork, a lot of phone calls, a lot of multiple contacts for them to try to figure out, where do I go? How do I belong? How do I get started? And because of our relationships that we have with our agencies, we can provide suggestions and we can do a lot of those inquiries for the volunteers, which saves them a lot of time. So this to us is a win-win for both the volunteer and our agencies. They get that one-on-one matching based on their interests, skills, and passions. So here's some examples of the things that we have to offer. We have volunteers that like to sew. Some like to volunteer at food pantries, work with animals. You could be a tour guide, an usher, a greeter. You could call bingo, be a senior companion, and maybe do some mailings or assemble packets. We have gardening that you can do and working with children. So these are just to name a few of the types of activities that we have available. We like to provide ongoing support and communications to our members with our staff through volunteer experiences. And we absolutely love to celebrate and appreciate our volunteers' accomplishments and thank them for what they do. So if we could go to the next slide, please. It's the volunteer appreciation slide. Okay, so in 2020, we had 64 volunteers who reached a major milestone. So to us, what this means is that it's either their years of service or the hours that they volunteered. So this could be anywhere from 5 to 25 years of service or 1,000 to 10,000 hours. So this year, since we were unable to host an in-person event, Jill and I actually did what we called porch drop-offs. So you can see on the one slide with all the bags, we assembled gift bags for everyone. And in the bag was like their award pin, a little thank you note, a gift, some goodies such as cookies, candies. And we assembled the gift bags and we contacted all the 64 volunteers. And Jill and I were able to actually go to it was just about 60 volunteers' homes and give them their bags. So little do you know, we were greeted with, as you can tell, big smiles, nice conversation. I think this was in November. And so the weather was on our side and we were able to get out and deliver all these bags. But I would say most all the volunteers said, oh, please, tell us when you're going to be here. We're going to come out on the porch. We want to meet you. We want to visit a little bit. So as you can tell, we just had a great time, being able to still connect with our volunteers. And as you can see, we also have married couples. We have several within our membership that, like to do and volunteer activities together. So we had a fun couple that we, got to interact with. But I will tell you my all-time favorite is Alice in the window, the volunteer that's pictured in the window. So what happened was we went to the home where she lives. And when we got there, the staff said, oh, why don't we go ahead and we'll deliver the bag to her. And she's on the first floor, ground floor. She's right across the lawn. So we could trot across the lawn. We went over to her window. They took her gift bag in and they said, we'll give it to her and then you can wave to her through the window. So we did, and she, opened up her gift bag, but it was such a nice, warm, sunny day. She opened her window and we actually had just a great conversation with her. And we're just so, so tickled and thrilled to be able to meet her and visit with her, especially 25 years. That's a big deal to be a member, somewhere. So when I look at this one, I always think, just how touching it was and how meaningful it was. But also, I just think back to, and I think, gosh, I don't know who appreciated who the most. Did Alice appreciate us or did we really appreciate Alice? So it was one of those great experiences. And as you can tell, we have some wonderful volunteers that still like to interact and, get out and do things for the community. Okay, now you can pan back to Beth. Now I'd like to just share some benefits of being Sorry, I'm going to move on. And we're going to talk about how we serve and do opportunities within our community. So in a typical year, our agencies contact us on a regular basis with requests to help with a specific need or a community event. So they give us details and the duties that, they're needed. So what they do is they fill out a form and they say, okay, we're going to host an event, or we have something going on within our agency and we need help. And they give us the particulars, the details, and what they need to go ahead and get this done. So we craft an email, and that's our primary way of reaching out to our volunteers. So we craft an email, send it out to our volunteers, and then we react to the responses that we get. So we also know, as you notice with our age group, there's quite a few volunteers that just don't have email. And we don't want to leave them out. And we don't want them to not, hear about opportunities that we have for them, because we do know they have special interests also. So we make phone calls. We can run a report and we can find out who those volunteers are that don't have email, and we know what they're kind of looking for. So a good example recently was we just did a big annual mailing for one of our agencies, and they sent us all the particulars. We, sent the email out, and then we were able to actually call some volunteers that don't have email and get them also involved in this too. And so this is another good way that we're not leaving anyone out, but we're also helping fulfill that request for the agency, because we've got more ways to reach our volunteers. Well, as we all know, COVID has slowed us down, but it has not stopped us. So we have found through the course of time that our volunteers are able to adjust, and they do things from home, or they actually do feel safe at the agencies that they volunteer at. So if you remember, I think now we're going to go to the next slide. It's called RSVP at a Glance, and it's got the mask picture on it. If we can move to that, please. Okay, so the need for masks was a big deal in the beginning. I don't know if you remember that, but when COVID hit, we were all adjusting to many things, but that was a big demand out in our community. So our Fibers of Love group, along with other volunteers who sew, they made well over 8,000 masks and distributed them out into our community. So I thought this was interesting. So in the pictures here, here's some pictures, samples of some of the masks that they made. So they made them for children, they made them for adults. But I always looked at them and I thought how colorful they were, how appropriate they were to the season. So people could make their choices and have something that maybe match seasons, but it was such a nice variety. And one of the questions I had for the volunteer coordinator for Fibers of Love was, do your members ever run out of material? And she said, absolutely not. They have so much material that they were able to probably use a lot of what they might not have been used before. So they had plenty of material to make the masks, but they were low on elastic. So we were also able to reach out and find a few ways to give them some elastic so they could continue to make the masks. So I thought that was, great to have that going on. The other picture is the porch of the coordinator for Fibers of Love. And what she did was she set up this way to have a no contact area set up so that our volunteers could come to her porch, pick up a mask kit, take it home, sew their masks, bring them back and drop them in the collection box. And then people like me, which I called several times looking for masks. And so I would call and say, I need 300 masks, I need 150 masks. When can I come pick them up? And we would set up a time for me to come and pick them up, and they'd be sitting right there on the porch with my name on them for me to, take them back to where I needed to deliver them. So what I thought, gosh, what a smooth operation she had going. And it was so much appreciated. And once again, very safe. There was no contact, no touch, and everyone felt, very comfortable in participating in this. In addition to serving our agencies, we also have priority areas that we focus on. And for our current grant period, we actually have 3 primary focus areas. So the first one is our multi-generational focus area. And this one, we're going to partner with community agencies to promote and support interaction between members of different generations. So our focus will be on education. We have a tagline, and it's called Full Steam Ahead. Stands for science, technology, art, agriculture, and math. And our theme is Pass on Your Passion. So we want to serve children ages 3 to 12 years old. And we look at it that we're the helping hands, that we're going to assist with the reading, the tutoring, arts and crafts, cooking, and gardening. So once again, we know that COVID has limited us to fully implement and engage our volunteers for now, However, we can safely partner with our young wonders here at the YWCA to do some multi-generational activities. So we've actually had a few volunteers come in to read, and we are also able to offer remote activities. So I wanted to show you here, this is Bonnie, one of our volunteers, and she's actually a retired teacher. And she came in and she not only wanted to read a book, but she also wanted to do a craft with the children. So she read the book, but the craft that she did went along with the theme of the book. So she had a great time interacting with the kids. And I think her quote says it all. She says, "This experience fulfilled what I miss from retirement. I still enjoy working with children." So, we're just so happy and tickled to be able to have people like Bonnie on board that, is willing to come in and use her skills and still enjoy herself while she's doing it. We also have 10 volunteers that have signed up for the new Young Wonders Pen Pal program. And so this is for children ages 3 to 12 years of age. And we match our volunteer with a child, and they're going to write letters and share drawings. And once again, we thought, gosh, because of COVID, kids are in front of screens so much. And we thought maybe this would be a good way to get them a little break from the screens and maybe mix different generations together and hope to learn and develop some writing and communication skills between them. So our volunteers are super excited to be a part of this. And actually it launches this week. And so we're just anxious to let the letter writing and the sharing begin, and hopefully we'll have some fun stories to share in the future with you. So now we can pan back to Beth. And I'm just going to share with you our second focus area. And this one is nutrition for low-income families. Our goal is to increase the number of schools and students impacted. So before COVID, we partnered with 2 schools in District 87, and we provided snacks on a monthly basis. We supplemented classrooms to ensure there were snacks for every student that was in need. So our volunteers donated snacks, and we had a few of them that actually delivered the snacks to the schools. We plan to expand the Snacks for Students outreach to include the Young Wonders before and after school student program, but that will happen once school is back in full swing, and that most likely will be the fall of 2021. Our third focus area is nutrition for veterans and active military. Our goal here is to identify and help food and nutrition to local veterans and active military. We currently partner with Operation Santa. This is the largest stocking drive in the nation with volunteers from 50 states. Operation Santa sends stockings to all branches of our armed forces serving around the globe. So our volunteers, once again, our sewers love to sew, so we make stockings and help them, but we also donate food items and other supplies needed to fill the stockings, and some of our volunteers actually go help fill the stockings and get them ready for the mailing. So once again, we're always looking for new ways to reach our veterans and active military locally. And so we'll have more to come on this as we can find ways to reach out to them and help fill that need for nutrition and food for them. So we're learning, just like everyone else, as it becomes safe to start opening up more activities, we plan to expand on all of our focus areas. And we also want to help our volunteers adjust to their individual comfort levels. Some of the things we've missed, and we're just anxious to get back, just like everyone else, but we attend a lot of senior expos and fairs, and we've not been able to do that. So we're really looking forward to hopefully in the next year or even several months as they start opening up and, be safely to be able to attend, and look forward to, to attending and having a presence at these events. I'll tell you what this does for us. It's a great way for us to promote our program, and we can recruit new members. All right, so now we'll go to the next slide, which is how to get involved. So now I just wanted to share how easy it is to get involved with RSVP. It's really as simple as completing an enrollment form. We have a paper form you can mail or drop off at the YWCA. You can go to our website and complete and submit the form. And I understand after the Lunch and Learn today, we'll provide you the link so that you can go to our website and you can check us out. And when you enroll with us, we do ask for some contact information, and we also ask for your birthday. So don't ever forget to put your birthday on there, because we call everyone on their birthday. I mean, that's one way that we can stay in touch, and everyone loves to get that phone call. And we also have you indicate what do you like to do and what are some of your interests are. And that's kind of how we helped go through that matching process. Also, throughout the year, we host orientations for our new volunteers so they can learn more about their role, the opportunities they have available, and more of the detailed benefits that are available for them. If you can't attend an orientation, or you would still, even if you do and you'd like to schedule some one-on-one time, we're happy to do that with you so they can, once again, we can talk over what you like, what you don't like, and what your availability is, because we do keep notes in our file so that if someone says, do not call me, we don't call them. If they prefer email, we try to accommodate our volunteers' needs so that we're not interfering and bothering with their schedules and their lifestyles. So that's another great, benefit of being with us. So I think to wrap this up, I just want to say that we always welcome new volunteers and agencies. So if any of you know anyone that, may be a potential volunteer, you want to be a volunteer yourself, of any not-for-profit agencies that we could maybe partner with, please send them on to us, and we'd love to share that. That concludes my presentation.
Perfect. Thank you so much. We're excited that everyone was able to join us today for this presentation about RSVP. And as a reminder, Circle is our largest annual fundraiser for the organization. And last year, Circle took place exactly 3 weeks to the day before the shutdown and really allowed us to more effectively weather the storm of the pandemic. And as we move into the next year and we look forward to all the things that are to come, we're excited about the work RSVP is doing and the work that YW is doing as a whole. And YWCA's mission is to eliminate racism, empower women, and promote peace, justice, freedom, and dignity for all. And we're very excited because YWCA is truly for our community, by our community. So when more of our community members support our efforts, we in turn can support more individuals and families in our community. I will send that email that Beth mentioned. I will include engagement opportunities and more information about the upcoming Lunch and Learns next week. We have one Tuesday for Stepping Stones, same time and place, and then Friday, we will have our keynote circle event with Angel Howard, and it promises to be fantastic, so we hope you'll join us. And with your help, YWCA will continue doing the work until the world sees women, girls, and people of color the way we do, which is equal, powerful, and unstoppable. Thank you.
Thanks for coming.